Okay, good afternoon. So today's Blender challenge is to make a trophy in a kind of rendered environment that you can look around in. So there's quite a lot of new stuff. I want to introduce you to the idea of textures so you can begin to make things look nice and pretty, both in Blender and when you export them and render them in something else. So our register question today was, what's the best prize you've ever won? Hopefully today you can win the Game Development Cup, which you are going to model. So let's see if we can make it. We are going to start with the base, just a default cube. Edit mode by pressing tab. 3 on the keyboard so that we can select the top and scale it down. I'm deliberately going to go a bit too fast for you to do it at the same time. I'm recording and I'll share the video with you, but I want the whole thing to be done in 5 minutes, so apologies for going a bit too fast. I've just G for grabbed and moved that down, and that's going to be the base of the thingamabob, the cup, the trophy. Next, let's add a colour to this. So that's going to be on a material, and we should probably call this base or wood or something like that. I'm double clicking on the material. You could make it look pretty with a wood texture, but time is short. I'm just going to click on the base colour, make it orange and a dark orange until it looks brown-like. I can't see that brown because we're in solid mode. I want to go to rendered mode so it looks vaguely wooden. Not very nice. We could do much better, but time is short. Next, let's go into edit mode. Shift A and add. I'm going to go for a cylinder or a circle. I'll go for a cylinder. S to scale. GZ to scale upwards. Needs to be nice and thin so that when we pop it down there, it's poking up. Now this, I want to be a completely different material. I want this to be golden. So let's add a new material, the little plus. That adds a new slot. Make a new material in that slot. This time, it's going to be golden. But notice it's still brown on here. We've made the material, but we haven't assigned that material to these vertices. So with the vertices selected, assign it. It's now yellow. We'll come back to make it look glossy later. Right. With this face selected at the top, we can extrude it. So E to extrude and pull it up. This time when I extrude it, I'm going to press escape to cancel it because I just want to scale it. Now that's going to look horrible. So GZ, I'm going to want to move it up like that. E to extrude, pull it up like that. Maybe E to extrude a little bit more. And it's not a hollow cup. I want it to be a hollow cup. So how can we do that? Well, E to extrude again, but cancel with escape. S to scale. And E, this time instead of pulling up, I'm pulling down. And we've got ourselves a hollow cup. Still doesn't look very smooth and very nice, but we're getting somewhere. Right, the reason why I extruded the top little bit was so that I can get one of these faces and E to extrude and pull it out. Pull it out a little bit more so that we can grab the bit underneath. Pull it out a bit more and you can make your cup look really nice. Mine looks like a kind of thermos mug. It's not very stylish, but it'll do in the time we've got. Back into object mode with tab. Right click and shade smooth. Can we add a subdivision surface modifier? My goodness, that looks terrible. Yeah, I don't like that at all. So maybe we should have done these as separate objects. I wonder if we can do that. Let's go back into edit mode, and my favorite keyboard shortcut with any part of the cup selected is Control L. That selects all the linked vertices, and I want to separate this. I can't remember the keyboard shortcut, so F3, not F and then 3, but the F3 key. Separate. Oh, the keyboard shortcut was P. Separate by selection. There we go. This is now a completely separate object. If you go into edit mode with either of these, they are now separate. And they're separate in the scene collection up here. That's better because when you add a subdivision surface modifier like Control 2, it only applies it to that object. GZ to move it down. Probably going to need some extra loop cuts in here. Control R, we used these for our table last week. Control R, hover over any of these. Right, what now? This thing, I held down Alt and clicked on one of these, so I'm not just getting one of these faces. I'm Alt and clicking to get the whole thing. I'm going to shrink it down. There we go, so it's a bit more thin. Right, now to make it look shiny, I like this bit. So this is a principled shader. If we change a few things on it, we can make it look a bit more metallic, so a bit more shiny. And we can change the roughness down. But it still looks nasty. That's because our whole scene is all grey. Instead, let's use a HDRI, a high definition render environment. If you search for HDRI, you'll find Polyhaven, and you can find loads of them. I'm going to download this one. They're free to download. Lots of them are free to download. And you get a EXR file, a high definition render image. So if you just go to Polyhaven, there's loads of them. You can choose which one, an indoor one, an outdoor one. You want to search for a HDRI. A sunrise or a sunset could look quite nice, whatever you want. And then you can put them straight into Blender. How? Well, you go onto the world view. And this time, you do the colour for the world. So rather than just a normal colour, you click the blob next to colour for world, and an environment texture. If you then open the file that you downloaded, so I think I put it in downloads, that EXR file, look at that. Instantly, you get all of the 3D mapping from that environment, and your nice shiny texture reflects that, and it looks quite cool. Okay, so your job is to maybe put a little reflective thing on here with a plaque with some text, like Shift A, you can add some text on there. I want my wood to not be reflective, so I can change the roughness right... Oh, hang on, wrong material. The wood roughness right up, so it's not reflecting anything. Maybe shrink that base. See if you can make a Game Development Club cup for somebody to win as a prize. Let's go.